Hey everybody, it's Mr. C here. I'm going to show you how to solve the very last example of the Section 3.4 note packet here, where the note packet was on piecewise defined functions. And so in this example, we're going to be building our very own piecewise function. Of course, we want to be sure that our piecewise defined function satisfies all the conditions that are stipulated in this problem. Of course, we are looking at an example of a dog groomer that places charges on the owner of a dog according to the dog's weight. All right, so let's go ahead and maybe read through the example and see if we can pluck out all the different parts. As you're going to see, there are a few different rules according to this dog groomer for which a customer bringing their dog in to get groomed would be applied. So a dog groomer charges according to a dog's weight. The next sentence states that if a dog is 15 pounds and under, the groomer charges $35. Alright, so that in and of itself is one particular rule for which the dog groomer charges. Another rule is on deck. It says if a dog is between 15 and 60 pounds, she charges $40. Alright, and then a third and final rule is underway. It says if a dog is 60 pounds or more, she charges $40 plus an additional $3 for each pound. I want to let you know right away that for each pound, that is in addition to the 60 pounds. All right, so that's a kind of a key idea with how we'll write one of the rules. All right, so we're tasked with the following. Write a piecewise function that describes what the dog groomer charges, and then we're going to apply it to find the charge of grooming a dog that is 75 pounds. All right, so let's go ahead and start maybe with f of x to represent our function. All right, and just want to let you know ahead of time that x is going to represent the different possible weights of the dog. Whereas f of x, okay, think of that as kind of like y values. In this context, f of x is going to stand for the particular charge applied to a dog based on its weight. Well, since there are three different rules or three different ways in which the dog groomer is charging, let's go ahead and open up a big brace like that, and we're going to try to squash in here all the different rules in which she charges the owner of a dog. All right, let's go back to the second sentence here. It says if a dog is 15 pounds and under, the groomer charges $35. So that's basically a flat rate or flat fee. Whether the dog is 1 pound, 7 pounds, or 15 pounds, each of those owners would be charged the same price of $35. So our first charge is $35, and that's going to be if, and we'll say x is less than or equal to 15. All right, if you wanted to be a little more specific and say 0 is less than x, that's fine, but I think it's kind of assumed at this point, so we're okay with just saying x is less than or equal to 15. So for an x value of say 6, we'd use the rule 1 here of 35. All right, moving on, it says if a dog is between 15 and 60 pounds, she charges $40. So again, that's kind of a flat fee being applied to owners of dogs that weigh between 50 and 60 pounds. So another charge is 40, and here we're going to put a couple conditions on the weight x. First of all, it says it's between 15 and 60, so on the lower end of the condition here, we'd have 15. But I'm not going to use a bar underneath the inequality symbol here because x equals 15 is being used in rule 1. And we don't want to use the x value of 15 to two different rules, otherwise it's no longer a function. On the higher end of the conditions on x for a $40 charge, we have 60. So I'm going to say that x is also less than 60. So if you're a dog that weighs, if you bring a dog in that weighs, say, 25 pounds or, 37.9 pounds, both of those owners would be charged the same price of $40. So now we're moving on to the third and final rule, which is a little bit more elaborate because, there's kind of a formulaic way for which she'll charge the owner of the dog. It says if a dog is 60 pounds or more, she charges $40 plus an additional $3 for each pound. All right, so there is kind of a flat rate going on here, but then there's also a variable rate. First of all, for a dog weighing 60 or more pounds, there's immediately a $40 charge. But then, for each pound in addition to 60 pounds, each of those pounds is going to be charged $3 each. So, in addition to the kind of flat rate or immediate charge of 40, we're going to have to add 3 times however many pounds over 60 any given dog would be. All right, so gotta be careful here. You don't want to put 40 plus 3x, all right, because what we're going to multiply 3 by is all the pounds that are in addition to 60. So to figure out how many pounds in excess of 60 you are, what you'd have to do is take your value of x, or the dog's weight in this scenario, and subtract off 60. Alright, and so this expression right here, x minus 60, would give you how many pounds in addition to 60 the dog would be. And in terms of the total charge, it'd be $40 plus 3 times however many excess pounds there are. Alright, and so this is the third and final rule, and of course this applies if the dog weighs 60 pounds or more. So in an inequality fashion, that's x is greater than or equal to 60. And this is our piecewise function that applies to the story problem here. So moving on to the next part, they want us to find the charge of grooming a dog that is 75 pounds. Well, we have a function here, and the function is meant to give us the charge of grooming these dogs depending on their weights. In this case, we are given a specific x value of 75, and what we're going to do is plug that into our piecewise function f of 75. Now, as we discussed in class, which rule you use is dependent upon which criterion your input satisfies. All right, and there are 3 criterion here. Either our input is less than or equal to 15, it's between 15 and 60, or it's greater than or equal to 60. And obviously 75 would satisfy the third criterion because 75 is greater than or equal to 60. So we're going to have to plug 75 into the third rule here. So without further ado, f of 75 is going to be 40 plus 3 times 75 minus 60. Now I'm going to include some of these order of operation steps. The first being doing 75 minus 60. That gives us 15. Now hopefully that should make sense now from, as to why this rule is the way it is. If you bring in a dog that's 75 pounds, that's 15 pounds in addition to 60. All right, so because there are 15 additional pounds, each of those pounds would be multiplied by 3 because it's $3 for each additional pound. All right, keeping momentum with this, we're going to have 40 plus, and then 3 times 15 is 45. And adding those together, we have $85. And that would be the charge of grooming a dog that is 75 pounds in weight. Hot dog, right? All right, and so that's our answer and solution to the last example in section 3.4. As always, let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.